Hello everyone, this is Neetu. I welcome you all in this English class. I hope you all are happy and safe in your house. Today we will study chapter 8 of Moments textbook. Chapter name is A House is Not a Home. By this title you think like that the house and home both have the same meaning, but there is a thin layer difference. It means a house is a building constructed with the cement, water, and the things. But a home is a place where all the family members lives. They are connected with each other, and there is a emotionally bond with each family member. So this is the difference in a house and a home. In house is only a building, where a home is in home all the family members live together. So in this chapter we will study about the authors, and this is the author's experience he shared in this chapter, that once when he left his previous school, and that time he was missing his classmates and his teachers, and when his house got fire and all the things, he lost all the things whatever there were in his house. But that time, in his difficult times, he got the stranger's help. It means where he shifted, that all his classmates helped him and they provided all the necessary things. So he was not weeping for his house which he had lost, but he was thankful to the God because a home with him, because the strangers, they became friends, and they were helping and they were providing all the things. So now I am starting the chapter and I will tell you the difficult word meanings also. My first year of a high school felt awkward. Awkward means strange, and it was the first year of his high school and he was feeling very strange. After living junior high at the head of my class with all the seniority, the upper grade levels could afford me. It felt strange starting over as a freshman. And of course, when we left our previous school, we all also feel strange in the next school or in the next place, because he was that time author was a freshman. The school was twice as big as my old school, and this school also just like his old school. And to make matters worse, my closest friends were sent to a different high school, and I felt very isolated. Isolated means lonely, and because his classmates, they were shifted to the another place, to the another school, so he was feeling lonely. I missed my old teachers so much that I would go back and visit them. And he wanted to visit his teachers. They would encourage me to get involved in school activities, because his teachers always encouraged him to participate in all activities so that I could meet new people. They told me that in time I would adjust and probably end up loving my new school. That to happen, I would still come by and visit them from time to time. And teachers of his previous school, they told to him that we know that probably you will adjust in your new place, but that time also you don't forget to me, you come and visit to us. They made me promise that when time I understood that the psychology in what they were saying, and that time I understood that what they wanted to tell me, but I took some comfort in it nonetheless. One Sunday afternoon, not long after I had started high school, I was just sitting at home at our dining room table doing homework. So one Sunday he was in his house and he was writing his homework on his dining room table. It was a cold and windy fall day, and we had a fire going in our fireplace, and it was a cold day, so there was a fire in the fireplace. As usual, my red tabby cat, and the author had a pet also, that was a cat, and his cat was lying on top of my papers, purring loudly and occasionally sweating at my pen for entertainment's sake. Purring is a sound made by the cat, and the cat was making a sound, loudly making a sound, and occasionally what the cat was doing, my pen for entertainment's sake. She was never far from me, and that cat always lived with author. She never went away from him. I had rescued her, and how he found that cat? He once he rescued her. Once he rescued that cat when she was a kitten. When that cat was a kitten, and somehow she knew that I was the one responsible for giving her the good life. So when she was in the need, when she was a kitten, that time author rescued her life. So the cat was thinking that author was the responsible, and he was giving her the good life. My mother kept stoking the fire to keep the house nice and warm, and his mother made this fire. Stoking means feeding, and tending the fire. टेंडिंग द फायर मीन्स जब हम आग जलाने के लिए लकड़ियों को इधर उधर करते हैं ताकि आग सही से जल सके. And that time suddenly author smelled, I smelled something strange. That time author found that there is something strange smelled. And then I noticed it, smoke pouring in through the seams of the ceiling. The smoke, ceiling means roof. The smoke began to fill the room so quickly, and suddenly he found that his room also, there was also smoke, and it was also filling in the room that we could barely see. And the author never seen this type of smoke in his room. Groping our way to the front door, we all ran out into the front yard. By the time we made our way outside, so the author went outside of his house. The whole roof was engulfed in flames, and his house caught fire, and it was just spreading quickly, and that fire is spreading quickly. I ran to the neighbors to call the fire department while I watched my mother run back into the room, and that time he found that his mother ran into the house, and house already caught fire. My mother then ran out of the house carrying a small metal box full of important documents, and suddenly he found that his mother came outside, and she had a box, and inside the box there was the important document. She dropped the case on the lawn and in crazed state ran back into the house, and again she ran back into the house. I knew what she was after, and author knew that why again she went into the house. My father had died when I was young, and I was certain that she was not going to let his pictures and letters go up in flames, and author knew about it, that why my mother again went into the house, because she wanted to take all the pictures of his husband or the author's father. She didn't want to live in the flames. They were the only things that she had to remember him by. Still I screamed at her, "Mom, no!" And that time the author was crying, and he was just stopping his mother that don't go inside. I was about to run after her when I felt a large hand hold me, and suddenly he found that there is a person who caught his hand. It was a fireman, and he found that the fireman it was. I had not even noticed that the street had already filled with fire trucks, and author didn't know about it that already the firemen came there. I was trying to free myself from his grasp, yelling, "You don't understand, my mother's in there." And the author was saying to that fireman that my mother is there in the house, don't cut me. He held on to me while other firefighters ran into the house. He knew that I was not acting very logically and that if he were to let go, I would run. He was right. "It's all right, they will get her," he said. Then the fireman replied that you don't worry, fireman, they will take care of your mother and they will take out of this house. He wrapped a blanket around me and sat me down in our car. Soon after that, a fireman emerged from our house with my mom. A fireman emerged. It means he appeared from our house and with my mom, and he brought my mother outside. He quickly took her to over to the truck and put an oxygen mask on her, and that fireman put an oxygen mask on my mother's. I ran over and hugged her. All those times I ever argued with her and hated her vanished at the thoughts of losing her. "She's going to be okay," said the fireman. "She just inhaled a little smoke." Because of this smoke she was inhaling. And then he ran back to fight the fire. My house burned down, and thinking that there was nothing I could do about it. 5 hours later, the fire was finally out. Our house was almost completely burned down. But then it struck me I had not seen my cat, and suddenly the author started to think about his pet, his cat. Where was my cat? Much to my horror, I realized that she was nowhere to be found. Then all at once it hit me. The new school, the fire, my cat, and suddenly he started to think about that I lost everything. Now there is a new school, the fire, and my cat. I broke down in tears and cried and cried. I was suffering loss big time. The fireman would not let us go back into the house, and that night it was still too dangerous, dead or alive. I couldn't imagine living without knowing about my cat. Regardless, I had to go. We piled into the car with just the clothes on our backs and a few of the firemen's blankets and made our way to my grandparents' house to spend the night. So, Arthur and his mother went to Arthur's grandparents' house. The next day, Monday, I went to school. When the fire broke out, I was still wearing the dress I had worn to church that morning homework. They became yet another casualty of the fire, so I had to borrow some tennis shoes from my aunt. Why couldn't I just stay home from school? My mother wouldn't hear of it, but I was totally embarrassed by everything. The clothes I was wearing looked weird. Weird means not very bad. I had no books or homework, and my backpack was gone. I had my life in that backpack. The more I tried to fit in, the worse it got. Was I destined to be an outcast and a geek all my life? That's what it felt like. I didn't want to grow up, change, or have to handle life if it was going to be this way. I just wanted to curl up and die. And that time he was thinking that everything I lost, and he didn't want to live because he became very sad. I walked around school like a zombie. Everything felt surreal, and I was not sure what was going to happen. All the security I had known from my old school, my friends, my house, and my cat had all been ripped away, and he lost his old school, his friends, his house also because His house completely burned, and the most important thing, he lost his pet also. When I walked through what used to be my house after school that day, I was shocked to see how much damage there was. Whatever had not burned was destroyed by the water and chemicals they had used to put out the fire. The only material things not destroyed were the photo albums, documents, and some other personal items that my mother had managed to heroically rescue. So, whatever his mother rescued, it means two times she went into the house, and whatever she brought outside the fired house, that only the remaining things, that only the saved things, and the whatever inside the house, that all damaged. But my cat was gone, and my heart ached for her. Ache means pain. There was no time to grieve. My mother rushed me out of the house. We would have to find a place to live, and I would have to go buy some clothes for school. We had to borrow money from my grandparents because there were no credit cards, cash, or even any identification to be able to withdraw money from the bank. Everything had gone up in the smoke, and they lost everything. They have not an identity card or something, so they can take money from the bank. It means that they lost everything, their bank diaries, ATM, or whatever they had. That week, the rubble that used to be our house was being cleared off the lot, even though we had rented an apartment nearby. So they shifted to a rent house. I would go over to watch them clear away debris, hoping that my cat was somewhere to be found. She was gone. I kept thinking about her as that vulnerable little kitten. In the early morning, when I would disturb her and get out of bed, she would tag along after me, climb up my robe, and crawl into my pocket to fall asleep. I was missing her terribly. So now the author was missing his pet, his cat. It always seems that bad news spreads quickly, and in my case, it was no different. Everyone in high school, including the teachers, was aware of my plight. And now in new school also, they all got this news that this student's house got fire and he lost everything, including the teachers, was aware of my plight. I was embarrassed as if somehow I were responsible. What a way to start off at a new school. This was not the kind of attention I was looking for. And this type of attention he didn't like this kind of attention. The next day at school, people were acting even more strange than usual. I was getting ready for gym class at my locker. People were milling around me, asking me to hurry up. I thought it strange, but in the light of the past few weeks, nothing would surprise me. It almost seemed that they were trying to show me all kinds of stuff on it just for me. They had taken up a collection and bought me school supplies like a notebook and all kinds of different clothes, jeans, tops, suits. It was like a Christmas, and I was overcome by emotion. And when he got all these things, he became emotional. People who had never spoken to me before were coming up to me, and earlier they were not talking with the author, and now they were showing their love to him. So he became very happy and he became emotional. To introduce themselves, I got all kind of invitations to their houses. Their genuine outpouring of concern really touched me. In that instant, I finally breathed a sigh of relief, and finally he take a deep relief and thought for the first time that things were going to be okay. I made friends that day. A month later, I was at my house watching them rebuild it. But this time it was a different. I was not alone. I was with two of my new friends from school. And his two new friends, they were also helping to him to rebuild his house. It took a fire for me to stop focusing on my feelings of insecurity and open up to all the wonderful people around me. Now I was just sitting there, watched my house being rebuilt when I realized my life was doing the same thing. While we sat there on the curb planning my new bedroom, I heard someone walk up to me from behind and say, "Does this belong to you?" When I turned around to see who it was, I could not believe my eyes. A woman was just standing there holding my cat. I leaped up and grabbed her out of the woman's arm. I held her. And when Arthur found that a woman came to his house and she had Arthur's cat, he became very happy, close to me and cried into that beautiful orange fur. She purred happily. My friends were hugging me, hugging the cat, and jumping around. Apparently, my cat had been so freaked by the fire that she ran over a mile away. Because when his author's house caught fire, that time that cat ran away, a mile ran away from his house. Her collar had our phone number, and the collar of that cat, author had written phone number, so that woman came there. But our phones had been destroyed and reconnected and disconnected. This wonderful woman took her in and worked hard to find out whose cat it was. Somehow she knew this cat was loved and sorely missed. As I sat there with my friends and my cat curled up in my lap, all the overwhelming feelings of loss and tragedy seems to diminish. I felt gratitude for my life, my new friends, the kindness of a stranger, and the loud purr of my beloved cat. My cat was back, and so was I. So, with this, the chapter is over. So, you have to write this glossary and the another also. With this, when I was explaining the chapter that time already I told you, and the question answers, think about it. There are a total 6 questions given. So, these 6 questions you have to write in your notebook. So, with this, the chapter is over. Have a nice day.